What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Hatoraid Live, the Hatoraid Hour podcast. I am your host, Jordan, aka Hatoraid Cowboy, and we've got some really cool stuff to talk to you about with R Volution. I've got a guest here, Raphael, who's been on the channel before. But before I introduce him, just some housekeeping items. Let's have fun, let's be kind to one another, and let's keep it G-rated. All right, well, let me get Raphael on here. What's going on, Raphael?
Oh, I'm fine. Thank you for having me. I'm actually in the US, so it's way better, for the
Yeah,
time difference.
yeah,
And
that's
yes, it's I'm glad to be at your show again. Thank you.
yes, sir. Yeah. So you're in the states. Why don't you tell everybody where you're at and what you've been doing in the states so far?
Oh, yes. I'm in Miami. Where our warehouse is in Davie, in Fort Lauderdale, so very close by. And I'm here every 6 or 8 weeks, in the US. But this time, actually, it's my vacation. So I
Nice.
brought back my family with me, and we actually got to see the Mets versus the Marlins, last Monday, and it was very, very cool. It was a first for me, so I really enjoyed it.
That's awesome. So who won the game?
The Mets, they, they were better
They
for
were better.
sure. So it was fair. It was a fair match. No worries about that.
Nice. And I assume you were going for the Marlins.
Yes, of course. Yeah. But I was really going for the guy who can hit the home run. Okay, so I
Right.
was very happy with either ones, from the Marlins or the Mets, who could do a real big home run. So I was
Nice.
lucky, and there were several in the game, so
Cool. And
it was
then
very cool.
tomorrow you're going to soccer, right? Soccer game.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, we were there to see Messi, with the Inter Miami, but once again, he's hurt. Unfortunately, we
Always.
won't be able to watch him play. It was the same when I was in Paris. I tried to see him twice, and each time he was hurt, and I never saw him play actually. So you know,
That's the
I
way it
will have
goes.
to try another time. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, cool. Yeah. So I've been talking to Raphael. Um, we did some stuff at M Wave just last month. They had some new R Volution players, some announcements and stuff. So I figured, hey, well, why don't we come on the channel, get a chance to talk about it a little bit more live, have a chance for people to ask some questions and all that good stuff. I'm getting an echo. Let me know if you guys hear an echo on the stream or not. Let me see here. So, and also let me know where you guys are watching from. Okay. So, yeah, so let's get started by talking about one of the big things that was announced at M-Wave is the R Volution NAS player. So, you want to tell us a little bit about that, maybe some of the capabilities, some of the well, we'll get into the beta version, but why don't you tell us a little bit about the R Volution NAS?
Yes, actually, it's the first time that we have the NAS back again in the States without the internal optical drive, obviously for legal reasons. But there are very cool stuff about this NAS. It's very reliable. You can have a lot of storage in it. You can have 8 times 22 terabytes for now, but there are virtually no limitations. So as soon as we have bigger hard drives, we can put inside of this NAS. So it's very reliable. We do the supervision for you. So if you're not confident or not good with NAS, and you want to have it at home, it's a cool solution to store and protect your movies, your pictures, your data. It can work with Rune, obviously. So we have a Rune core server inside. So it's good. It's cool for music too. So I really recommend it, and it's so far, it's been very, very reliable, and we are pretty happy about it. So we will have some cool features to announce in the months to come, especially for the version with the external RIP. Uh, so it's basically for Europe, but people will be able to actually see the progression of the RIPs, which was not possible so far. And mostly they will be able to supervise the health of their hard drives inside. So from the R video or the PD with R video apps inside. So we will have cool supervision features for this NAS.
Oh, that's cool. So you can see the health of your. So it's a legit NAS, and you can see the health of your drive. So is that like a web GUI that runs, on like on the IP address or something, or how does that work?
It will work directly inside your R video application.
Oh, okay.
Inside, your movie wall, you will have a new section called, ZPT, not ZPD, sorry, R Volution NAS statistics, for instance, and you will be able to have a special GUI, with the health of the drives, the RIP progression of your RIPs, and an history about the last 50 rips you've made.
Okay.
So you will have interesting features for the movie lovers.
Okay. So when you're setting this up, how does this work? Does it once you connect it to your network, and then does it work seamlessly with like your R Volution player? Uh, does
Yes.
it work locally and over the network, or like can you plug it directly into the R Volution, or is it just designed to work over your local network?
No, it's a NAS, so it's
Okay,
over the network. You
gotcha.
can plug it with USB, for instance. It would be cool, but it's not possible. It's a NAS.
Okay.
So you can put it, on your basement, as long as it is connected to your network. All the Rvolution players will be able to see it. And not only Rvolution players, if you get any other brands that, talks with SMB, for instance, you will be able to use
Okay.
our NAS, even if you have a Dune or Zidu or any
Nice.
other brands. So it's pretty flexible, so it's a thing that people can have even if they don't enjoy our evolution or the app or whatever, but the product is great, so they can use it, and it's quite unique, in the US market. So it's a cool thing to have at home.
Okay. And then so that's cool that you could use it with like, dunes to do. And then you said how many what's the terabyte storage capacity again?
It's 8 times for now 22. I think the biggest capacity I've done so far it's 22. But if you have 24, 26, it will work also. So it's more
Wow.
than 170 terabytes, into a single unit. And of course, it's scalable. So you can add another NAS and you can double the
Oh,
capacity.
wow.
There are no limitations. When I was, working with Zupili, I have some customers who had three Zupidinas. So, some guys have really big collections in the US,
Wow.
mostly in the US.
Okay. And then as far as pricing and availability.
Yes, it's available right now. The first models arrived, 2 weeks ago. So it's available, and the retail price is $26.99 dollars, the retail price for the US.
Okay. Let me see if I can pull this up. Is it on the website?
Uh, n-
English or
I'm
US or
No, no, no. The US, we are waiting for the Mini. The Mini is actually it's in Miami right now. So we are waiting for the customs to release the Mini players. So we will update the website with the NAS next week with the arrival of the Mini player.
okay. So that's what the NAS looks like.
Yes, but this one is for Europe only. It
Gotcha.
has the
Okay.
internal optical drive. In the US, it's not possible. So you
Okay.
don't have any internal drive, optical drive.
Oh, so this one. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. I see it. So yeah. So this is for. Okay, so it's interesting that the laws are different, in the U.S. with that. So there's no
Yeah. It's not possible in the US to to
right.
rip the movies, to
Okay,
have a backup of your own collection. So it's sad, but it's the way it is. So we have to comply, and yes, the only way we have found, for people to use it, is to remove the optical drive, the internal optical drive. But
okay,
again, there is a room core server inside, so it's cool for music lovers too. And you can protect and store all your files, your pictures, your personal videos inside of it, and it's far more protected than most of the NAS available in the market today.
okay. And I assume it's gigabit.
Yes, it's even 2.5 gigabits
Oh, okay.
capable.
All right, cool. So yeah, so lots of options for, you know, I mean that's a lot of space. I don't have nearly that much for to fill that up, but I mean three NASs, that's crazy.
Yeah. It's and especially with 4K, as it's big files,
Mm-hmm.
you need space. So even our NAS, it's not mandatory to go with eight hard drives, sorry, at the same time. You can start only with three, but go big. If you start, because once you start at 20, it will be mandatory for you to continue to 20. So if you start only with 10 terabytes, you will have only 80 terabytes available at the end. Whereas if you put like 20 terabytes inside, you will have double the capacity at the end. So it's
Okay,
really important to start big on the NAS.
gotcha. All right, and then so this one's been out for a while, so people
Yeah,
probably know about this one. But for those of you that don't know that are watching, we have so currently right now this is your flagship player, the
exactly.
the player one
One
8K.
single bay. Yeah, exactly. It's 8K, it's been very reliable so far, very fast, with our new interface, with the music soundtracks, the animated background, there are many, many things that makes it a great player today for any home theaters or any living rooms. Uh, we will have something new to announce at CDR in September. So I think you will be there. So
I will be
you
there.
will be able to send and to tell the world about these new products. But to get back to the 8K, the Player One 8K, the cool things compared to the competition, because we were the first releasing an 8K players several months ago, and now there are been others brands to continue. But I would like to emphasize on some special features that R Volution is giving to the customers. We have no limitation for the capacity of our drive. The competition is mostly blocked at around 16 terabytes.
Okay.
In our players, you can put a 22, 24. It will be compatible up to 32
Wow.
terabytes at the end. Okay, so you've got bigger capacity, and the menu, the when you're watching an ISO file or a BDMV, some Blu-ray menu are complicated to play because there are many Java protection, etc. And our players can play it, 99% of the time like a real Blu-ray player. So it's very important. If you guys love watching movies on your Blu-rays, R Volution is the player to go, because you will have the same experience. It will work every time. So it's very important to emphasize on this.
Yeah, I will say my experience has been with the R Volution, the the Blu-ray menu, the BDMV folders works much better on the R Volution than the Zadu. It still works fine on the Zadu, but I find like the controls are a little bit more. I don't want to say wonky, but it just doesn't seem to be as fluid as it is with the R Volution. So that's really cool because I usually rip all my stuff MKVs, but I've been doing more BDMV folders and
Yeah.
ISO files, and just to be able to have, because with MKV, you don't really have, well, you don't have a way to know where you're at in the movie,
Yeah.
other than just holding down, skipping, and hoping that you land on the spot. So, but with the BDMV folder or ISO rip, you can pull up the chapter menus, and you can go straight to the chapter, and then you can go from there. So it's actually a lot better. It just takes up a lot more space.
Exactly. But it's a choice, at some point, I've done like you did, I was doing ISO at first, and it took too much space on my NAS. And so I remixed it, into MKVs, and now I kind of regret it,
Yeah.
because I've lost, the extras, like you said, the capabilities, the chapters, everything. So yes, I would go with BDMV folders, or ISO now, for the future, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, and one thing that, so what I've been doing is, so I've been ripping all my stuff. Like, everything's pretty much been ripped already, but new movies, if it's like a demo worthy movie, or if I think this has really good audio video that I'm gonna play a lot, I'll keep a all my NKVs on my network, and then I'll use the internal drive bay, and I'll put like the ISO files and the BDMV folders on the hard drive. That way, it's not, I just specifically use that for those type of files, and that way it's not taking up space on my server, and then I can just go quickly to the hard drive on this. So that's one way that you could do that too, if you're somebody that wants the internal drive bay, and you want to maybe save some space and just use that for those bigger files. You can do that as well. Now, does the Player One 8K, does that have one or two bays?
One bay for now, but
Okay.
for the new flagship player that we will announce, there may be some some cool new features for that. So I can tell much more today, but be there around September on your channel, and we will we will let you know.
Alrighty. So we got a couple questions. I'm starring some of these questions, guys, because we're gonna
Yes.
end up talking about it. But Ariel says, "What is the difference from MKV versus ISO files in terms of space?" Um,
Yeah.
I'll let you answer that, Raphael. But I will say quickly that MKV file is, the container is, there's no size limit to it. So, with other containers, I think with like MP4, there's a size limit to where you can only have a certain size of the file. MKV container, from what I know, is limitless, but ISO file is the complete movie. So when you rip an MKV movie, you're not taking the extra the deleted scenes, behind the scenes. It's just the movie. There's no menus, nothing. The ISO file is basically a copy, an image copy of that disc. But I'll let you talk about that a little bit more, Raphael.
Yeah. In fact, like you said correctly, MKV, you will have no, if you don't try to how do you say that, to downscale the resolution or anything, you can have the same quality of any ISO files. But like you said, ISO files, you have everything. It's uh, bit to bit, the same as the real disk. So it's way better, right? In the future, if you have any things to add or to go back, the ISO file will give you some better results at the end. So MKV, it will just be, for demo clips, for instance, you can use MKV. It will be good for 5 minutes demo clips. That will work, but I will really recommend to go to BDMV folder and ISO to keep everything as it is on the disk.
Cool. Thanks. Okay, so that's the Player One, and then we have the Player One 8K. Then the new one that was debuted at M-Wave was the
Yes.
R Volution Player Mini. So this is really cool to see how small and how compact it is, and that like you were saying, you can actually, literally, you can, so small you can pick it up and just take it wherever you want. If you want to go to if you're going to travel, you're going to stay at a hotel, or you're going to go to your friend's house. Maybe you have like a hard drive or something that you want to plug into it. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about the Player Mini?
Yes, in fact, it was a request from our customers. The Player One 8K is a great player, but it's big, and I have many yacht dealers, around the world that were missing the Zupili Mini that we are using, a few years ago. And so the Mini was, you know, it's good enough. It's 4K. It can do everything. It has the same GUI than its big brother, the 8K, and you can put behind the TV. You can, put it into small spaces. You can travel with you, especially with the offline mode. If you're doing an offline mode collection at your home, you can bring it to your summer house or summer apartment, and have a collection of your own during your vacation. So there is many appliances for this mini, and it's reliable. I've been using it for 2 months now, and people will enjoy it. And the price is also fair because when you have multiple TVs inside your house, the 8K costs quite good amount of money, where versus this player, will cost you less money, and you will enjoy the same. You will have basically the same experience as the 8K. So it will be no, the 8K mini, I won't say there will never be an 8K mini, but for now, the board is too big to fit in the mini. So, but who knows? Next year, if it becomes available, the new chip, a smaller chip, maybe we will do an 8K mini in the future. But for now, 4K is more than good enough.
Okay, so I have a couple questions about the Player Mini,
Yeah.
or I guess all the players in general. Is there, let's say you have a Player Mini on in your living room, you have a Player One 8K, in your home theater, NAS, all that stuff. Is there a
Yeah.
way to sync them up? Like if I start a movie in the living room on my Player Mini and then I stop halfway, can I go into my home theater and then start the same movie from the same location, or is that not a
Or is that
possibility?
not a possibility?
For now, it's not a possibility.
Okay.
It's something that we have all in mind because we are used to have these kind of features like in Netflix.
Right.
We stop watching on our iPad and we go to bed and we finish our TV shows into that. So of course it's in our mind, and it shouldn't be that difficult. So it's a feature I would really much to be created in the next future in our Evolution players.
Okay. And then I had a question because, and I forgot to ask you this at M-Wave. Let me go back up here when we're talking about
Yeah.
all the different flags. So RO3D, that's interesting because I don't know of any other. I don't think there's a do that I know of. It does, at least it doesn't promote that it does RO3D. But that's
Yeah.
interesting that it supports RO3D content.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, every players, I won't lie to you and your followers. Even the Zidu can, if the file
Hmm.
has Horo 3D, in bitstream, it will let the signal pass through.
Okay.
But as it is, a not very well-known format,
Right.
it was used very much in music, and I'm a music lover, so I've got many albums, recorded in Auro 3D, and it was important for me to promote this format because it's very cool, especially into music. For video, it was beaten by Dolby Atmos all the way,
Hmm.
so it was never been very popular for movies. But for music, you still have a quite great amount of music albums that were released, in RAW 3D. So why not put this format, in the capabilities of the players?
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't realize. I always wondered. I mean, I don't. I have an RO3D demo disc, but besides that, I don't have any content because it's not.
Because
It's not something
it's not something.
that's promoted in the U.S. I don't think there's. I don't know if
Yeah.
there's any theaters in the U.S. that even have an RO3D setup. And
Maybe it was Auro 3D. In fact, the codec is still DTS,
the
DTS
base layer,
HD.
yeah.
It's yeah, yeah. So it was. I think they were together with DTS. Auro 3D was like a part of DTS at one point, but I know now they are separated, and it's a German company that is still very active. When I was in Munich, like 2 or 3 months ago, I went and visit some music recording studios, and the guys over there that has been recorded many Blu-ray pure audio disc, and he was still making some oral 3D soundtracks into
Okay,
the new records he has.
nice.
So it's still an active format, but mostly for music nowadays.
Okay. Yeah, and then the other side of that too is even though like if you have a player or R Volution or Zedu or doing whatever, you still have to have a processor or a receiver that can decode it. So even if you have it, the the,
Yeah.
the media, if you don't have a, because
Mhm.
right currently right now mine doesn't have it. And I know I think Denon and Marantz does it or allows you to, one of them has it, and then
Yes,
obviously if you have
with
it
an
like in
update.
with an update,
It's
yes,
not free for, yeah,
right,
yeah,
yeah,
it's for a fee, but at least it's possible. So
yeah. But with Trinov, like you get that out of the box, right? Or is that an update as well?
I don't know. It's right inside the box, and it works perfectly.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm using, the Auro 3D upscaling for all my two-channel iRace files, and it works great. Really,
Yeah.
it's something. I hope you will be able to listen to it soon.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you'll
Hopefully.
let me know.
Yeah. Should be. I guess it's not. I guess it's official, but I do have something in the works where I will be hopefully getting a Trinov soon to review. It's not mine. I don't get to keep it, but that is in the works. So I'm excited
Lucky
about
you.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's
and I will
actually
give you. Yeah, sorry.
what's that? Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Yeah, yeah. I will give you some tips because I'm fluent in Trinov now. So,
Yeah, because you have a Trinov.
yeah,
Yeah, I know it's gonna ruin me because I'm not gonna want to give it back. But hey, I'm not gonna turn down the opportunity to review one. So
no, no, you will enjoy it, I'm sure.
yeah. Okay, so next topic is R Volution beta versions. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, actually, it's for the R video. In fact, okay, the R video has always a better version. You can subscribe to it. In the interface of any R Volution, you can go to the settings and go to the source of release, and you choose beta instead of normal or classic. And this time, it brings quite cool features, especially when you have a NAS, like we talked about, some minutes ago, about the possibility of supervising the health of your HDD, to have, the status of the RIPs. That when you put a disk in your NAS, you can follow the status. It was not possible until then. And you have two cool new features also. You will have a new version of the PC and the Mac R video version where you can actually now scan and identify the titles. Before it was just, the PC app or the Mac app was just there to manage your collection, and you couldn't actually, identify and scan your files. So from now on, you will be able to have only a computer with the R Video app inside and use your computer as your main source of a player. So I know that people were asking for that. They were happy with their PC, and they will be able to enjoy the R Video environment from their PC or their Mac. Okay, so it's a brand new features that is available with the beta version.
Okay. So PC or Mac, is that just a laptop, MacBook or a studio, or can you pull it up on your, iPad, iPhone and do that there?
No, it's just for computers.
Okay.
For now, maybe in the future there will be something for the iPad or the tablets or the smartphones. But for now, it's computer based. But I will recommend to have, a strong, powerful computer to, to play 4K, for instance. So yes, don't put it into, a cheap laptop. You won't have a great result with that.
So you're saying you can actually not just like update your movie posters and
You
stuff. You can
cover
actually
art.
watch movies there too.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
okay.
with yes, yeah, yeah. With you can add like a VLC player or home theater, a PC, an external application, and you will be using just your computers, because I know a lot of customers are only using their PC with Kodi, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
and Kodi can be tricky and difficult. So if people are, most comfortable with our video, but they want to use their PC, now they will be able to do that with the same subscription as for the ZPD owners. So it will be about $60 a year to use that, I think.
Okay. Well, that's cool because that means if you're somebody that's running a home theater PC, then that means, and you
Yeah.
already have that hooked up to your home theater system, then you can just download that, and as long as
Yes.
it's powerful enough. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's something that people were asking for, and it's finally there. And I think we will have some returns, some feedbacks from users in the next days and see if it's up to their taste.
Okay. Now I did miss this question since we were talking about the Player Mini. So um, hopefully I don't butcher your name. Abilesh says, when is Mini Player release in market now? I'm not sure which market he's talking about, but
Uh,
where are they available at?
Everywhere it will be. Yeah, yeah, it's available. It arrived in the US, like I told you minutes earlier, and it will be, I think, available next week when it is released from the customs.
Okay, awesome.
So very, very soon.
Awesome.
Okay, so let's see, and then the beta um, is available when? The
Today,
today?
today,
Okay,
so it will be available maybe later tonight or maximum tomorrow morning. So yeah,
okay.
we'll.
And do you just will it be over here in the download page or?
It will be now available directly on the in the player. So you will
Oh,
see
right. Okay,
if you go in the settings and choose the source of release, as beta, it will
that's
be
what I need to see.
available tonight, I think, in the US or maximum tomorrow morning.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about the offline mode. So this was another feature that we briefly talked about. It was kind of hard to show it at MWave, but I know you talked about that. There's a new offline mode. There's some features that are available now, and then some in the future. So why don't you tell us about that offline mode?
Yes, of course. So the offline mode is it's a very simple one for now. When you have a player where it's a mini or it's a 8K player, you will be able to store your whole collection with the soundtracks, with the animated backgrounds. All that makes our video great will be available without having to use internet. So you can bring your player, somewhere where you don't have a good internet connection and still enjoy your collection. So it's very great for dealers, for instance, in when they are, presenting the products somewhere where the internet is not that good. If they prepare the offline mode, right at their store and bring the player to the customers, it will work right away. So it's a cool features that I think a lot of users will love. But it's the first step of creating a real cool offline mode that won't be based into with the cloud. For now, everything is cloud related, and it can be a problem, especially when the cloud is down. The story happens with Zupili last year. So it was a promise that R Volution will be creating a real offline mode. So even if someday I don't wish it, but if R Volution is gone, people will be still enjoy their players and have new metadatas, etc. Thanks to this real offline mode. So it's a work in progress. There were things to do first, but I think the engineers are going to work, and we will have it soon. It was in the plan for 2024, so it should be available before the end of the year, obviously.
Okay. And so when you say offline mode, that's specifically talking about not having to rely on the cloud, but you will still. So when you say offline mode, that doesn't mean if your internet goes down, like, oh,
Yeah.
I can still, you know, because obviously your local network probably isn't going to work, but that's specifically pertaining to not relying on the cloud.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. In fact, even for now, before, when we had with Zupili, for instance, a local server, the loss of internet wasn't a problem. But
Oh, okay.
now, as it is all cloud related, if you have a loss of connection, it won't stop playing your movies. But if you go back and you don't have internet anymore, you won't have any info on your collection, and
Okay.
it will stop working. So with the offline mode, if you create one, at least you will be able to have all your latest offline uh, collection available anytime. Okay, so it's always important to have this kind of backup to enjoy your collection.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice to have. Uh, I think we talked about this earlier. There is no mini 8K,
No, no, it's
right?
just a mini 4K for now,
Okay.
but it won't be impossible that in the future we will have a smaller chip, and so we can make a mini 8K. But for now, it was not possible, and we wanted to release a small player. So I think most people will enjoy 4K anyway.
Yeah, and so the player mini does everything except for the 8K part as the player one 8K. Okay.
Yes, and except it doesn't have any internal,
Right, right.
hard drive capabilities, but you can put, USB external drive, so it will fit in most of the users' homes.
Okay. And as far as the player mini, do you know what the external hard drive limit is? So if you plug an external hard drive into
Yeah.
the USB, is there a limit on that?
No, no limitation. So I think you have a 24 terabytes, like Western Digital, and
Okay.
you can put in there as long as it is, self-powered. You have to get a self-powered
Like a
external hard drive. So
hard drive bay. Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. Otherwise, it won't work. The mini player won't have enough power to power the 24 terabytes,
That makes sense.
obviously. Yeah.
Okay. And then this is one feature that we talked about also that I think a lot of people are going to be excited about. And I know people are, somebody already made a comment, that's similar to the Kscape, but why don't you tell us about this? Because this is interesting. I think that this is going to be
Yeah.
really cool to implement. As far as I know, I don't know any other player. I don't think the Zadu players can do this. So what is this Rvolution demo loop grouping? I know that's not the official name for it,
No, no, no,
but
but it's quite, it's quite explicit like this. So, yes, it's the first step. In fact, we presented it for the first time at M-Wave. And if you guys have got small, demo clips already made, with MKV files, etc., you can put those, favorite scenes into a group. You can call this group, best scenes, for instance. And you can have like the Top Gun, test flight scene, the Mission Impossible 7 train wreck scene, etc. And when you put it into a group, you will be able to play those clips, from one to the next without any, waiting time. So it's a cool features. And if you have some friends at home, for instance, you will be able to go to the group and play and press play, and it will play automatically all the demo clips that you had put inside this group. It also works for trilogy. For instance, if you want to do like a Lord of the Ring, movie night, you can press play on the first one, and automatically it will play the second one and the third one. So it's the first step of the most important features that we will come later this year for sure. It will be the possibility of any users to create their own demo clips out of their own files. That means that, for instance, if you get Matrix and you want, the bullet scene to be in your favorite scenes, you will go to this famous scene. You will press A and B on your remote, with the color button remote, and you will be able to store, these demo clips, and you will be able to put it inside a group, and so you will be able to create your own demo sample clips collection for your friends or your family. It will be pretty cool, and it will also help, all the dealers, in their retail store, to make some easy demo for everyone. Okay, so it will work for the end users, but also for the professionals. It will help them.
Yeah, that's an awesome feature because that's
That's
one
awesome
thing,
because that's
you know, that's one reason why I love Kaleidoscape so much. It's just especially as a content creator on YouTube, being able to pull up clips very quickly, and it's going to
Yeah.
be the same clip every time. Whereas, like with the Zadoo, when I was using the Zadoo, I didn't memorize the timestamp, so I'd have to fast forward, and then sometimes you go past that. So I'm curious when you say when you press A B, is that I press A at the start of the scene, or when I want, and then
Yes.
B at the end, and then is there a time limit, or can you do 5 minute clips,
No.
10, 15?
You can do a 45-minute clips if if you want.
Okay,
It has no restrictions, but obviously, the best scenes it's around 3 to 4 minutes.
right.
That's good enough to see if your setup is good enough, and if you have a cool scene. 4 minutes will be already great.
All right, yeah, that's exciting because that's one feature I was just like, man, these 4K
Yeah.
media players are awesome. I was like, that's the one feature that's holding it back from being just absolutely perfect. So, and then for those people that feel like, hey, you know, I'm not able to get into Kaleidoscape yet, and I know a lot of
Mhm.
people always make comparisons and stuff. So then you'll have that feature. That's a feature that really only Kaleidoscape has right
only
now R
Kaleidoscape has right
Volution.
now. Now
So,
R-Volution.
I know. So it's our priority for dealers and end users to have these features for this year.
awesome.
And I will try to have a preview at CDR, but we'll see. It will be done by then. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll try to if you have it there, I'll try to get some more like a actually good clip because I'll be there. I'll be at Cedia Wednesday through Sunday. Sunday I'm not going to do anything because that's when I fly back. But Wednesday through Saturday, so I should have plenty enough time. Hopefully, maybe before or after we can get in there and do some stuff before when there's not so much people coming through. But yeah, that's gonna
Yep.
be that's gonna be exciting. So stay tuned, guys. In September, what is it? September
5 to 7,
5 through 7. Okay,
September 5th to 7th. Sorry.
okay.
No, it will be great, and we will be there. So if you have your ticket, please come and see us at booth 1044. I think yes, 1044.
Cedia booth 1044.
Yeah. We will
Okay.
have all the Revolution products for sure, and we will also have all the bridgey cables there, and we will also present a new home real home theaters speakers, Mac Theatron. So it will be a first, and I'm very excited about that too.
Nice. Yeah, we were talking about that last week, so I'm excited to see that too. Some big speakers, right?
Yes, that's not something you can put in your living room. You have to have a man cave or a dedicated room for that. But they sound awesome, and the price is very reasonable. So you will have cinema results, for your own theaters. It would be great.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the R Video app. So I know it's been out for Zapiti, and then is it available yet for Zadoo and Dune?
No, no, it's still work. I know everything takes times, but
Okay.
yes, from what I know, Dune will be the first one to come in the market later this year, and then Zidu. But I promise, all the Zidu owners, it will be available for the Zidu players. That's for sure. Okay,
And
we don't want to
okay.
restrict anything, and we want all, as most users as possible to use our video. So
Okay. Now, h-
Now,
does it have the exact same functions with the R Video app as it will be on like the Zadoo, or is it going to be like the same user interface, the same
exactly the same,
features? Exactly the same.
exactly the same. Yes, that's
Okay.
the plane, except if we, uh, you know, um, ex for the hardware that if we have some limitation, we will let our users know. But the plan is to release exactly the same app for all the media player brands in the world. So that's really the plan. So hopefully we will have some news at CDR about that.
Okay.
But Dune seems to be the next in line to get the R video app.
Okay. And does that
and
include
does that include?
the grouping feature as well?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
That'll be cool.
it will be the same as long as in the hardware we are capable of finding
Right. Right.
time stamps, and I don't see any reason in Dune and Zidu that we don't have this kind of features. So it
Okay.
will be most certainly available.
So
So,
Rich Little
Rich,
Poor Boy says, "Will R Volution be an audio device?" I'm audio device just started, so I'm gonna say no because you're here with
Mhm.
me. But I'll let you answer
Yeah.
that.
No, I don't think, but it's something we can we can discuss, but no, it won't be at audio advice for now.
Okay. All right. Let's
all right,
see.
let's see.
So then we have
Then
the
we have the
digital movie board. So that's something that's very exciting as well. That I think is kind of building out an R Volution ecosystem. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. Yes, we are proud to have made a great partnership with Digital Movie Boards, an American US based company. They're actually in Texas, not so far away from
Oh,
you,
okay.
Jordan.
Nice.
And I've watched their products for several months. I was very intrigued, and I started to play with it. And I contacted the owners, and I told him, your product is cool. I would love to add an R Volution plugin into your player. So basically, they are making an interactive um, movie poster app. You put any TV, any 4K TV into a portrait mode. And yes, exactly like that. And you can, like our video, you can change the top banner, you can change the bottom banner. And I saw so many similarities with our video app. So we get in touch. He loved the idea, and we have started to work together for 2 months now. And we are proud to say that now we've got the first official R video plugin available into digital movie board player. So it's really great. In fact, when you will be playing, your collection with your R video, the digital movie board player will be synchronized with your R video player, and outside your home theaters, if you are watching Dune, for instance, it will automatically change the posters to, now playing Dune. And when you press stop, it will go back into
Like a
the
generic.
random, the generic presentation of your collection, but you can also tell him that you want to have like, I don't know, like the Tron movies. You can do so many things with this player. It makes look home theaters look better. I install one of it, with a TV, in front of my own theaters. And each time I'm going back to my basement now, it's like a wow effect. You can see the movies that you are going to watch. The quality is great, and it's very easy to implement it. So I would recommend every users to have this, when they have a home theater, of course. If they have a big living room, if they can put a TV outside, their living space. It's so cool and it's so easy to play with. So it's really really great.
So what's cool about this is you can actually get like an all-in-one, I guess, package with the monitor and
Yeah.
the little player, but you can also get the player itself. So let's say you already have a TV, you don't need to buy, spend the extra expense. You
Yeah.
have a TV or you have a monitor. Because right now I have a monitor outside of my theater that I'm using
Yeah.
another thing that's called similar digital movie poster, but you can get the actual player and then just hook that up to your TV, right?
Yes, exactly. It's cool. It's very flexible. So if you are already a TV, the only restriction is that you have to have a 4K TV, okay, because the
Oh, okay,
interface is in 4K, but
gotcha.
it makes the cover arts looks even better. It's very colorful and it's very reactive. What is cool about digital, their application is that you can mix, like movie trailers and still
Mm.
movie posters. So they have, like the THX demo
Oh yeah.
trailers. You can have the Maverick, demo trailers, and then you can have the Prey, movie posters. And you can make your own folders. You can create your own customized folders, and you can put all the movies that you love inside, and they will play in the loop or random. And it's very cool add-on for your home theaters.
Yeah, that's really cool. It really gives it that actual theater like feel when you go to the theater and you're standing outside of the theater before you open the door and they have those monitors there. So that's really cool.
Yes,
Easy
and
to
you can
use.
even have some concessions, like popcorn, soda,
Yeah, yeah.
beverages, to feel like in a real cinema. So it's really really cool, and we will be showing that into our booth at CDA, so
Nice.
people can actually see it live.
And then
And
when
thank
will
you, Ike. I saw a message from Ike.
yeah, when will that be available for the R Volution player?
It's already available since last Friday. So
Oh, okay,
actually, you can already use it.
okay. And um, it works with all the R Volution players.
Yes, and all the ZPD players with our video apps inside, which is also cool. Okay, but if you don't have any R video, R Volution, or ZPD players, you can still use these cool,
Right.
digital movie board players with Plex, with Kaleidescape. There is
Hmm.
a plugin
Plug-in.
for Kaleidescape too. So yes, you can have it even if you don't have an evolution layer. So it's a really cool things to add.
Will it work if you have a Dune or Zadoo and you have the R Volution app on that?
Yes,
Okay.
as long as you have our video account,
Video account.
because in the digital movie board players, it will ask for your credential, for our video. So
Okay.
as long as you have a collection and an our video account, it will work on any platforms. So
Awesome.
it's very nice. It's a
And
small thing, but it changes,
oh, I love
everything
it.
in your home theater. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it because I have it. Outside of I have the same thing. I just have it running. I kind of have to do a little bit bootleg because my computer that's running all my Plex and everything, and I also have it tied to
Hmm.
Kaleidoscape. But I have to. I have a Chromecast on my monitor, and I have to cast my desktop screen in portrait mode to the Chromecast to the TV, but having an actual display that's there or the player
Yeah.
that's on there, I don't have to fool with all that, and it can just run. But that's how I'm doing it now. So when people come over, they're like, "Oh man, that's really cool." So it's one of those small things, but in the grand scheme of things, it just gives you that more authentic home theater, feel to it.
Yeah, that's our goal, to be like in a real, cinema. So it really helps, and you've got a cool app, and from your iPhone you can, manage your cover
Okay,
art, you can manage your folders. So it's very easy to manage these things.
awesome. And then let's see. I think you kind of briefly talked about it, but you said that there's going to be a new teaser, or I guess we can kind of give a teaser about
Yeah.
a new product, at Cedia.
Yes, yes. It will be a new flagship player, higher end. I will give you two features that will be a game changer for us. There will be a dual bay capability,
Hmm.
so of 32 terabytes in each bay, so 64 terabytes,
Wow,
for
that's
two.
awesome.
When they're available, they are not available yet,
Okay.
but each year we are gaining some space and some capacity on our hard drive. So I guess pretty soon we will come to that. So no limitation on hard disk capacity, and there will be linear power supply with toroidal power. So it will be better for the sound and the picture, and we will have a very high-end clock inside this player too.
Okay.
So everything will be high-end, like a real cool digital transport, very high-end for the most enthusiast of home theaters owners.
Yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned that because I know, like with at least with Zudu, you have all these different models, and people always ask, "What's the difference?" So with the Player Mini, it's a mini, so it doesn't do the 8K and it doesn't have an internal drive bay. And then you step up to the Player One 8K, so that has a single drive bay. And I guess I mean it's the mini is a smaller player, but I'm assuming maybe the power supply is a little bit better, just because it's a bigger player.
Yes, it's an internal player, power supply. So yes, it's better in quality for the 8K for sure compared to the
Okay.
Mini. The Mini will have only an external power supply, but you can change it and put, a higher end external power supply. There are many in
Okay.
the market, and you have great results with. I remember a brand that I used to have. It was called iFi, hi-fi, external power supply. They were not expensive, and they made a real difference, at least with the small player that they used to have back in the days.
Okay. Yeah, so like you're saying, a lot of people ask, well, what's the difference? So as you move up on these players, usually they have
Yeah.
like more features, like the maybe more drive base. But when you start adding the like a better power supply, toroidal transformers, it may not
Mhm.
sound like it, and
Yeah.
no pun intended. It may not sound like it, but you actually get better sound, picture and sound. Uh,
Yes.
because you've got better quality
The
products.
power is really, really important, for the amplifier, of course, for the projectors, for everything. When you have a good power supply, everything is smoother, it works better. So that is the plan with the new flagship player that we will present at the next CDR.
All right. Well, I'm excited
All
to
right. I'm
to see that and cover
to
it.
see that.
Yeah, yeah, me too.
Okay, let me see, check a couple of these starred comments. And if you guys, I think that's pretty much all the topics that we had to talk about. So if you guys have any questions, make sure you get them in here before we end the stream. So, we kind of answered this. Ask about the new demo capability. Can we do scenes like Kaleidoscape does? Yeah. So
Yeah, yeah, and you can do your own. I emphasize on this because Kaleidoscape is doing a great job by, doing it for you. You know that what they think
mhm.
is the best scene, but you may have some different tastes. And with our Volution, you will be able to create any demo clips that you want for any movies.
Okay. And then we have Ariel. It says, "Can you use the mini as a main player, and what are the differences?" So we kind of talked about that a little bit, but I'll let you tell
Yes.
about that.
Yes, the Mini is already a great player. If you don't have any 8K TV, any 8K projector, 4K is good enough in that case, and you will have the same interface. It may be a little bit slower than the 8K version because it has a more powerful chip inside the 8K, but basically it will do the work. So you can start and try the Mini and maybe one day go for the 8K and the next flagship uh, later on.
So, question on the 8K, do does and maybe the future player, do these players do any type of upscaling, or is it just it'll only
Yes,
play 8K,
It'll
or
only
will it
play
upscale like your 4K content to 8K?
yes, for the 8K and the new flagship, they have already, an upscaling features
Okay.
with AI capabilities. Okay, so
Okay.
it's based on AI. So we have some very good result with the tone mapping, for instance. So yes, in that case, if you get a real premium home theaters, go at least with the 8K and maybe with the next flagship. It will be beneficial for you for the quality of pictures. If you don't have an high-end home theaters, go with the 4K mini. It will be good enough.
Okay. And then and also supports player led Dolby Vision, like low latency Dolby Vision as
Yes.
well. Okay.
Exactly, everything. So it's a Dolby Vision HDR10 Plus. We've got the Dolby VS10, tone mapping processor inside. So everything from the big brother we have in the 4K Mini, except the 8K scaling and the more powerful chip.
Okay. Yeah, and then the only thing is
Yeah,
with
the only thing is with
I think it's good. I'm glad that we have the option to future proof, but there's no
Mm.
8K content, you know.
Now, and
But at
you
least you
know,
have
not
the upscaling. That's great.
Yes, the upscaling, and I can tell you 8K it's not going to be for the residential market. I really think that. I've been in the market for many years, and 4K, I think it's the best we can have, for
Mm,
residential market. 8K it's for, planetarium, for really, really big screen where you don't have many depth in the room, so 8K can be useful in that case. It's not the case in our homes. So 8K, but 8K was not the only reason we released this player. It was because of the power of the chip. It makes the interface go faster. It
okay.
has many advantages. Okay, so but 8K it's not the end point of this player for sure.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, I
I
agree with
don't
you.
ever
Mm,
think 8K is going to be mainstream, at least not for like physical media, because now you're talking about massive sizes for
mm,
content. So movies, if they did release a 4K or 8K Blu-rays, I mean, you're talking that's going to be an incredible amount of space that you would have to require. And then if you
space.
start ripping, now you're talking
Mm,
about you've got to have all kinds of hard drive space. So I don't think it's ever going to be
yeah,
mainstream for home theater. I think
no,
4K is good. But like you said, if you have an 8K display, 8K projector, at least you can get the upscaling, from that, get the
exactly.
benefit of
From
the extra
that, get the benefit of the
pixels.
extra
You know.
pixels. Yeah.
So no, I know it works fine, because I've sent the players to reviewers, and I know the guys from AVS forums, really enjoyed it in his 8K TV, and he was really impressed with the results. So
Okay. Easy Home Theater Tech
Oh,
says the
easy
8K
home theater
upscaling
fixes the
is
yeah,
actually great. Do not think it would be as good. Yeah, I don't have a 2019 NVIDIA Shield, but I've seen what it can do, and it's actually pretty impressive. So that's good that the that the 8K players is actually pretty legit.
And thank you, Ike, for testing.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, you need to make some content with that, man.
Yeah.
And then looks like we have one more question. Does Player Mini use the same remote?
Yes, yes, it will, but there will be a cool new feature that I forgot to tell about. With the next release of the new flagship player, there will be a new Bluetooth and IR remote that will be compatible also with the Mini and the 8K. So basically, when you buy a Mini, you will have the same remote as the 8K. But if you want as an option to get the Bluetooth remote, it will be available, I think, in September. You will be able to do that. Okay, so all the players will be Bluetooth compatible with the new remote.
All right. Well, lots of new exciting stuff coming from R Volution. Looking forward to covering some of the content, at Cydia and getting a Player Mini in for review once they're available. Be able to cover
Yeah,
that. So
very soon.
very soon, guys. Well, I think that's all that we have. I don't see any more questions. So, thank you to everybody for tuning in this evening. It was short but sweet.
Yeah,
And
it was very great.
yeah, I always enjoy working with you, Raphael. Appreciate you coming on, talking about R Volution. And I guess the next time, we'll probably be chatting, offline. But next time I'll get to see you is at Cydia in September in about a month and a half, I guess.
Yeah, in about less than that, in about a month.
Yeah, true.
So, so thank you for having me once again. It was really great to talk with your followers, and yes, I'm looking forward to getting in your show again with other news to share.
Yeah, looking forward to it. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for tuning in this evening. If you guys have any other questions after the live stream, just go ahead and go to the video, leave them in the excuse me, comment section and the chat, and we'll try to answer them. Raphael or Ike says, "Thank you, Jordan." Raphael, yeah, appreciate it, Ike.
Thank you, Ike, and talk to
And
you soon.
yeah, so guess we'll see you guys in the next video, and make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for some R Volution content at Cydia. All right, everybody. Good night.
Bye.